Ah, there we go. I think that's okay. Angle-wise, let me think. Is it better to go? Yeah, it's probably better to go deeper. Deeper, depth. The problem is the camera starts to fall over. And then, I can only be called a fool because I didn't compensate for that. Probably could use another light. Alright, there we go. Brilliant, fantastic. Yes. Overwhelming. So anyway, underwhelming, something like that anyway. Better make sure I didn't fuck something up. Don't want to be doing it all for semi-not. So anyway, I was going to do the spook painting. But then I watched a Boundless Eyes video and I thought, that's a good one for talking about just talking. There is always something to say. It is disappointing that she doesn't make more videos because she feels like she has nothing to say, which is kind of strange because you can kind of see that she can talk. That she's not probably one of those people that runs out of things to say or that doesn't have an opinion. You don't have to bring up too many subjects before you find one where she's probably got an opinion. So anyway, just the general difficulty of finding your way, finding peace and contentment in your life, or enough enjoyment in it, let's say, to maintain it, to keep it going, to keep on painting, to keep on talking, to keep on breathing. But again, the alternative is kind of squeaky. Who wants to go there? The choices are limited here. We are kind of, it's kind of a narrow options in terms of saying I've had enough. I mean, people say it all the time. I can't take it anymore. I can't stand this, and then they stand it some more because there really isn't a whole lot of alternatives. There's something I want to do here, and I'm just, I have to make sure I do it the right way. I think I have to, I really hate changing this structure because it's close enough. But I do need to I don't know whether I should go, I have to go down. There's just no option. I have to go down. It's the only way. I have to do it. There's no choice. I must. So I guess the first subject I'll just throw my 2 cents in on is this. It's not really self-esteem, but self-esteem gets much more complicated. It doesn't matter what everything we do is a bigotry. We objectify everything. There's no way not to objectify because we have sensibilities. We have sensations, we have reactions, and all of those reactions are conditioned or programmed. Very few of the reactions are the slow reactions that you have when you think about it. All right? And you can't think yourself into some reactions. Some reactions are visceral. Once they're conditioned in you, and you're just stuck with those reactions. You're not going to get out of them. You're not going to escape them. And a lot of the romantic crap is like that. There's certain buttons that have to be pressed, and that's the way it is. That's the way the nature programs the animal. So you could use all these other animals as examples, but there's birds that, they collect crap, to impress the ladies, because this has evolutionary proof that this bird can get plenty of food because he has plenty of time to go collect crap. Okay, so that's the standard. And the crap has to be blue, right? Not green, not pink, not some other color. It has to be blue. So, if you're really good at finding, green stuff or red stuff, the ladies just ain't going to be impressed. And it doesn't matter whether you're really good at it. It doesn't matter if, it just doesn't matter. This will not get you laid, and that's just the way it is. And you got to concede a little bit that men are programmed similarly. It doesn't matter whether you, I mean, obviously there's a conditioned response. The basic nature of the beast is, you can do the evolution thing and figure out that, yes, youth is likely to be attractive because you're more likely to be reproductive when you're young, and your baby's more likely to survive because you're hardy and tough and all of that crap, and you haven't been used up, and there's evolutionary reasons why men are attracted to the healthiness projected, that youth projects. Let's put it that way. Youth, at least, has the superficial elements of survivability, strength, power, all of these things. And so there's going to be a prejudice or a tendency for that to influence what men go after, what they pursue. They're going to more likely going to pursue women that have the charm of a youthful appearance, a healthy appearance. And so that's the other word is kind of important, is healthy. People have to look healthy. Healthy is a good, naturally, it makes sense to recognize that looking healthy is going to get you somewhere in terms of your attractiveness evolutionarily for a partner, a sex partner. We have to understand that in nature too, sex partner, it just means something entirely different than it means for us now. Because it was just about, for men anyway, it was probably a lot more just about any bitch will do. Just get your seed in as many of them as possible, because there wasn't really much of a loss. I mean, yeah, you lost a little of your strength, but you weren't giving up much, frankly. Where the woman was investing a tremendous amount in this experiment. Okay, I mean, the woman has everything at stake in getting pregnant, and the man has no stake in the pregnancy itself. And that's just a fact. It's just another one of these unpleasant facts. And if I could make that different, I would make it different. But I can't make it different, so I won't make it different because I can't. There's no changing it. It's just, I mean, it'd be nice if we could just talk our way, I guess is what I'm saying. I would really like it if I could talk myself out of being sexually bigoted. And that's the truth of it. I am sexually, romantically, a bigot. But I don't think I can talk my way out of that bigotry. It's not the kind of thing you can fix with a better idea. I can't fix it with an idea. It won't work. I'd like to be able to do that. I would love to appreciate and enjoy relation with people without any subjective response ever getting in my way. I don't want a bad smell to bother me. Why should it? That's just a waste of time. Why should I be bothered by a bad smell? That's a waste of my time. But the fact is, that's not reality. The reality is that these things do matter, and they're going to cripple. They're going to decide the nature of relationships often. Not as a unusual circumstance, but it's going to be the norm of the circumstance. Sadly, unfortunately. So I guess I just say, yeah, but you can't get too caught up in this shit. And I've sort of lived different kinds of lives in terms of my own sense of self, okay, in terms of how good I felt about myself. So when I was a kid, I was a runt. So like you have this experience of being fundamentally almost a sense that you're fundamentally crippled, that you'll never be able to be Cinderella, and the fairy godmother's never going to want to help you out because, yeah, you have no chance, So you're out of luck. You're just not going to ride any of those fun rides. You're just going to be stuck with the shitty rides because, yeah, somehow you're just a little bit too broken, by what the required standard dictates you must be. And so I felt that as a kid. I felt like a runt. I felt insufficient. I was a runt. I was factually a runt. When I was 13, I still weighed 99 pounds. I was a runt, and I lived a runt's life, and so I knew what it was to be, to have that sense of, what am I going to do now that I'm out of the game? You got to find another game, and I guess that's the point. Is there's so many games that, I guess part of me was, got more comfortable with the idea that maybe there's some other game here. I mean, I still thought about the fact that I didn't want to be out of luck with the ladies. I mean, that was a little scary, a little depressing. But that obsession is, that's a whole nother little mind game where, I mean, there's no way I can say to people, don't let it own you, because it owned me for my whole life. So how the hell can I preach, don't let it own you? Yeah, I mean, I let it own me, but don't let it own you. And that's not going to go anywhere. But there is a truth, in spite of what I just said, to recognizing that the real substance of your life is not going to be built around somebody else's agenda. You have to have an agenda in here. You have to have some kind of mission statement, that's just broad enough anyway, to get you past the rough bits. And it's not even close, Gary. Not even close to where I was heading for. Now, that's not exactly what I'm looking for either, but I think I can work with that. Perhaps I can do something with that. Yeah, perhaps I can. This is old. I got too much. I want to get rid of some of this nostril light. Make this part of the nose bigger. Less of a up your nose kind of look. So where was I? Yeah. So yeah, the idea is, so there's two parts of this thing, right? You got to feel a certain way about your life, and the life itself, viscerally, has to, feed you. So I've sort of done some videos in this whole thing about how there's parts of us that we have to entertain, even though we know they're assholes. So you still have to entertain the assholes. So you have to create a story you tell the asshole inside of yourself that makes the asshole feel like, oh yeah, I really am somebody after all, or whatever the bullshit is. So you just kind of have to create delusions to live by, and it ends up being a fantasy life. But maybe that's maybe a good fantasy has a lot more credibility, than any reality. This reality is just kind of, it's kind of shitty. So you might be better off, living something less real. In terms of just the stuff you use to get through the day, the little mechanisms. So you already know that. You're doing your little mantra thing, or your little affirmations of value and meaning and substance and all that kind of shit. And I shouldn't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's, fact is, you probably won't even see this video. But, probably. And so maybe this is all just, I don't know how helpful I'm going to be in explaining how to enjoy life, when all I really might be saying is this is how you survive life. And the real game, the real value of your life, just as see, you're saying the value of my life is I get in a relationship that fulfills me and satisfies me. And so I might say, just as you would say it's a cruel objectification of a woman to say, to judge her based on her sexual usefulness, I might argue that your objectification of your life as being something, well, that the value of your life is limited to whether or not you were deluded with some kind of silly story in your head that made you happy, that you were happy. That's all your life should be, is whether or not you're happy. I mean, you've objectified yourself. You've turned yourself into some kind of silly object, and missed the whole game. The game isn't you. So, you can always find something to get yourself out of trouble, I think, in life, in the darkest moments. Not the darkest, no, don't get me wrong. The darkest moments are dark, and you're just, I don't have any, I have no cliches, no bullshit. When life is really hurting you, you're on the table. Mango has got your balls. There's none of this bullshit's going to mean anything in terms of, you're going to come up with some little game you can play that's going to get you out of that, even if the game is purpose and function. I mean, whether I have value to the world isn't going to mean much if I am really, 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 really in pain. And unfortunately, I spend way too much time. I mean, I lose so much time, so much productivity to the fact that some days I can't even stand breathing. I can't stand being here. It's a prison sentence, and it's just so difficult, and I feel so. I mean, ironically, I feel cheated. It's like, damn, I'm really not given the right tools here. How can I be expected to play in this arena when these people are just so damn comfortable and I'm so damn uncomfortable? It makes the challenge is so much greater. But then we can just keep doing that forever, right? I mean, we can all just sit here and make comparisons, and there's always going to be somebody who had it easier than me, and then there's always going to be somebody who had it harder than me. So, I mean, I guess there is somebody who has it, who really is, got it worse than everybody else. And we'd all be able to recognize that if we saw the life, the elephant woman. I remember seeing, one of these, people with the blah, 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 sclerosis, whatever it's called, the tumor disease. And, lovely young girl, just horribly blight. I mean, just horrible. And you're just so embarrassed to complain about your own weaknesses and tiredness and fatigue at it all, because you look at somebody like that and you're just, oh man. And look, they're still here. But in this case, she was really begging to be killed. I mean, she's just begging for it. And that's there's a point where that's what's necessary. I mean, there's a point where you just have to concede. Game over. This is just too much, too hard. So anyway, I'm just saying, but the thing that has worked for me, so that's all I guess I'm getting to eventually, is, here's my kernel of advice for what, but that's all we have, is my experience has taught me, the dismal horror. You don't even know it, you haven't even met the horror yet. The horror, wait till you're 50. That's when the horror sets in. Is mission, purpose. There's just so many things to give a damn about here. There's so much at stake, and there's so much underappreciated. There's so much not getting done in terms of these little things. Like there should be, there should be an actual mechanism where if Boundless Eyes is feeling insecure and a little bit, not comfortable that she's worth the trouble, that she's not making enough of a contribution, or she's not enough of a muse, and she's not enough of she doesn't have enough potential to do something brilliant, there should be some kind of button I can press on the computer to say, wait a minute, come on, do this, play this video here, listen to this. Okay, you're acting like a crackhead. Because I could do some obvious complimentary blah 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 blah. You're charming, you're wonderful, blah blah blah. I'd love to spend a few hundred years with you. Your passion, you're aggressive, you're in the game, you're alive. You can see it in your eyes. You're not a zombie. You're thinking and feeling. These are very beautiful attributes to see in a human being. A little bit of passion is, it's a beautiful thing to see. A little honesty. And you've got this mind that, okay, it's dark. Okay, it can realize the nasty bits. It can see, and it can stumble on them and trip over them a little, and it can crawl on the floor a bit. But it'll get up. Okay, it'll get back in the game. It'll still try to, find the bigger picture. And I just think that, it's almost, I'm almost insulting your intelligence by saying, you know better. I'm almost insulting your intelligence to say you don't know how. You can't look at the world and then look at yourself and say, gee, out of all this crap, I certainly have more potential. You can't do that? Come on. If anything's going to be alive, it should be the stuff that's going to have some potential to fix something, to do something, to make a mark, to fix the game, make it a better game, more playable game. And for you not to be able to see your value in being able to do that, being a part of the mechanism that creates change, appreciations, and all that kind of stuff. Come on. These are so overt in terms of these are attributes of valuable attributes. They're just so overtly valuable. There's just no way for somebody to deny the overt value of somebody who is articulate. So, this could be another standard for this, what you call value, in terms of being valued as a person. But obviously these are not the things that get to our ego. So again, we're back to this argument about the visceral part of it. And the fact that you can't, unfortunately, like I said, I can't fix myself in the sense that I can't deny the biology and what it screams at me, what it says to me about what I like in terms of something to interact with in the candlelight. That I'm going to have this bit of bigotry. It's a fact. But you just have to find ways to, like I said, I don't think you have to acquiesce to anything just because I don't think you have a serious problem in that regard. It's just that, what it comes down to is I think your standards are too high. I think you're obviously, like a lot of perfectionists, you don't like silver medals, you don't like bronze medals. You just don't. It just doesn't appeal to you. Coming in 14th place, okay, so it's not 198th place, but it's just not good enough. I play to win. I don't play to show or place or do some of this other crap. And so, part of that again is just, that's another kind of objectification. That's when you've objectified yourself, and not that you can avoid it. How do you avoid any of this crap anyway? It's really hard to avoid being a perfectionist. It's hard to unravel that just merely intellectually. It's much easier to recognize some bias you might have. Like I do this a lot, where I just deliberately, when I see something that's cute, a kid that's cute, I'll actually do it in my brain. I'll say, cute, recognize this is a bias. This is a bias alert. Bias alert. So I've automatically, it triggers the response of this. You got to watch out, okay? Because this is going to be you're vulnerable to a prejudiced impression, based on crap that doesn't matter. And so yeah, you can do some of that. You can get away from these expectations that you have for yourself, and I think that's helpful. But it's always difficult to accept failures. I mean, failure sucks. Not being as good as something else sucks. There's just no other. There's no way where to put that. Losing the contest, losing out to somebody else who's prettier or thinner or whatever the standard is. I mean, I'm having to face it in a hard way just because I'm really out of luck. I mean, I'm not gonna. I gotta age this guy even more. I mean, I'm gonna have to make him uglier and uglier and uglier if I want to get anywhere close to reality now. So who am I painting? Me at 15 or me at 55 and 54. And so, I mean, I'm obviously taking a huge hit here, in terms of how I can feel now, or whether I can use this appearance thing as something to, make me feel good about who I am. Who I am currently, I concede it doesn't really make a bit of difference. I mean, I think technically you could take it all away from me now. Just, take the hair away, bald me, do all that, and I'd probably be okay with it now more than in other times, because I've sort of given up on my life being connected to whether somebody looks at me with loving eyes. It's just not important anymore that I gain my self-esteem through the eyes of a woman in love. It just isn't. It doesn't occur to me that this is what I need, and instead, what I need is a way to sign my existence, feeling like I finished it. That this is a finished painting, and I can sign it, and I can feel proud about it. It's a good bit of work. It's done the job, and that's all I'm. It's not all. I mean, I still have a fantasy life, but that's what I'm saying. It's basically if I need to boost, then I just write myself a fantasy to wank by, and I'm okay. And that's and like I say, 10 years ago that wouldn't have been good enough. 20 years ago it certainly wasn't good enough. I couldn't manufacture my own self-esteem 20 years ago. I couldn't do it. I couldn't find it inside myself to do it. I had to get it from the world. It wasn't, my opinion wasn't good enough. I had to see it in her eyes. I had to see it in her eyes. And I guess part of it is that I had that. I did see that. And in a way it completed me. Like that stupid sentence, but you complete me. The catch to that is once you're completed, you don't need to keep doing it. That's the funny part is, okay, I got completed, and through that process I learned who I was. And so I didn't need to get completed anymore, because I had, it's like you won in, it's like some guys, some athletes, when they play a sport and they win, they kick everybody's ass. And then they kind of say, maybe there's something else I can do really well. Maybe there's something else I can excel at. And I guess that's sort of how I got to thinking, was I became less of my self-esteem was less generated by the world. And it was more something I was creating it now. I generated it. I was making me, in terms of how I felt about me. And so, yeah, I mean, but the bottom line is you're, like you said, you've already, like I said, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Like I said, you're a smart girl. I mean, that's probably the wrong thing. You're an engaged human who thinks about things, and you have drawn the sensible conclusion, okay, that yeah, you've got some liabilities in terms of your brain perspective. You think maybe a little bit too much, and you analyze a little bit too much, and that's not going to get rewarded in the world we live in. It's not a world, made for the critical eye. It is a world of people who are, living incredibly sloppy lives, doing sloppy things in sloppy ways, and a critical eye will likely get you some pain. It's not going to be an entirely enjoyable experience to be among them. Once you've recognized, once you've allowed yourself to be critical, you've allowed yourself to have enough confidence in your own perceptions to say, why is this respected? Why is this standard something that why should I even give this a moment's thought, let alone let it run my perception of what my life is and where I'm going and what I'm going to be? It's just, it has earned, the human condition, the human space, however, I don't even know how to describe it exactly, is really rubbish. Humans have just made a horrible mess of it all, and you just can't get invested in them. You have to get invested in you, and and I guess part of me says I think you're more than strong enough to find missions and ideals and beautiful things to cherish or something. I don't want to make it too mushy, but I think you do have your own aesthetic sense of integrity and beauty, and that will enable you to find satisfaction in things deeper than I'm making that jerk happy. Because it really isn't much of an accomplishment to make one of these male jerks happy. It really isn't. Because most of these male jerks have very low expectations, and it's very tragic of us to have them feel enamored by the superficiality. So yes, men love women superficially, but again, women do the same thing. Men are objectified based on their aggressiveness and their power and their money and their authority and all these other the very same kinds of rubbish is part of the equation. I'm not saying women are as bad as men, because they're not, in terms of having stupid standards, but they can be very shallow. We see what kind of men get rewarded, and they are aggressive, because women want somebody to take charge, somebody to take control. Women, it's very unfair to try to classify the woman as a certain thing, just as I don't like male being classified as a certain thing. But we do have tendencies. So I guess all I'm saying is there's not much of a victory in being attractive to a man. You're being appreciated for something cosmetic and superficial. It is the nature of their beast, and the only way you get beyond that is to find people or somebody who can look deeper than that, who's looking for interaction that's deeper than that. But that's a tricky one, because men who are actualized, men who do have found their mission, they're really not going to be. The relationship's always going to be a struggle with two dominant personalities. So I guess if both people in the relationship have an equality that's when things get really difficult unless you both have the same mission. Like you'd be great as a Mrs. Curie to my Pierre. That would seems really logical to me that you should be. It's like you should be working on a super collider or something with some guy, some physicist guy, and yeah, you have the same mission, but you can have this romantic and more complete relationship in life together because you both have the same or very similar passion. And that's just so hard to find. So again, you've got to find somebody who's, you can get along with theoretically. Because you don't want to be having particle wave arguments all the time, quantum smomptum and multiverse and all this. You have to find some sort of consistency in the passion, some sort of common cause that you both share. But that sort of it creates a better excuse for two people to share each other's lives than the traditional excuse, which is, get me a beer, bitch. And then, do your duty, but, frankly, instinctively, natively, as a male, yeah, I'm rogue. I prefer, me against the machine, but I'd like to have a partner. You know what I mean? I'd love to have a woman I could share doing this with, who I could be comfortable enough to do it with. Where we wouldn't, it wouldn't turn into some sort of horrible, well, this is the painting of when I shoved the axe through her head and it went into the canvas. See how it spreads the blood just, because, yeah, it's so hard to live with somebody. It's so hard to conform to people who have a strong personality. So if I have a strong personality and she has a strong personality, it's really difficult to make that work. But who wants the other? The other alternative is this horrid role-playing, that's insulting both of you. Like, I'm going to live for her. And, that's just giving up. That's just saying I'm too lazy and weak, to take the steering wheel. And, and it's the other way around. Like I said, either both roles suck. I don't want to consume somebody else's life. I don't want them to be servant to my passion. And, but I also don't want to be servant to somebody else's. And so it's, yeah, alright, just be depressed instead. Forget it. Yeah, you're doomed. This is very difficult. But I guess that, there, okay, I'll try to sum this up. Try to complete this video, keep it a little shorter, maybe that'll encourage me to do more of this. Yeah, the bottom line, if there's a bottom line, what would the bottom line be? Yeah, life is stupid, and so you have to make the best of it. And there is so much to fix. There's so much to be valuable to. I mean, that's the funny thing. Let's say, if there was some bigger thing, like the moon was in trouble, and you could save the moon or have a happy little loving relationship. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get to the idea that the moon is a bigger consciousness, so it's probably not a very good example. But, it's like saving all of the people of India or something. So here's your choice. You can save all of India. They're all going to horribly starve to death. Or you can, feel loved, by your doting, subservient, completely pussy-whipped, uninspired, drone-ish husband, who says, I love you, dear, a lot. You're marvelous. Oh, you're so special. I wish I could be special like you. You're so special. Yeah, I mean, come on. So yeah, there's lots of games to play while you're here on Earth. And frankly, the stupidest game to play is the I want to be loved. Yeah, that's really... I mean, I'm laughing just as I'm thinking about my own life and how much fucking time I invested from the age of, wanky 11 to now. How many years I spent just engaged in fantasy about, you know, fucking. And it's just, you're just saying, what the hell is that? Wow, that's using your time really effectively. That's really being a complete and, no, it's being nothing. It's being a fucking dog. I mean, I might as well have been a dog. I probably would have had more fun if I was a dog. Because, yeah, then I could just hump legs all day. And I wouldn't have to worry about any of this shit. I would have been happy and complete and all that kind of crap. But I also would have been just so nothing. I might as well be a candlestick. I might as well be nothing if you're just going to be part of the problem. Part of the stupid, insipid machine that just keeps grinding the gears. I mean, you know, be a gear breaker. Go out there and take the machine down. You know, I mean, unfortunately, it's my causes. They're not going to be somebody else's causes. But there are causes. There are things that need fixing. Even if we don't fix the, you know, the massive leakage of the sewage, there's still plenty of sewage to be cleaned up. So even if you're not going to be critical to fixing the machine that produces the sewage, you can at least be there to help, you know, mitigate against the horror of it leaking forever into places it has no business being. That needs a little help. There. I shall call this brush Help. There. Help to the rescue. Thank you, Help. Alright, well now I'm looking older, so that's better. I'm looking kind of groany, so we're heading somewhere. We ain't there yet, but it's progress. I probably do have to, somebody suggested that I have to straighten the hair because the hair's too blah 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 and all that crap, and it is, but I'm not sure how I want to go with that. I'm not sure what I want to do with the hair yet. So I think I'll just throw in some outrageous something or other here. And try to get some kind of pattern out of it. I'll do the high point. So now I'll put in a low point. Yeah, put in a high point, put in a low point. Ooh. Some black and white hair might be fun. That's okay, that's not horrible. So now we'll come up with some kind of browny color maybe. Whoops. Yeah, it wasn't you. I made a mistake. Let's see. So we need something back here. Put some Einstein over here. And let's see. A bit of a maybe a little white to help that one out. It's getting somewhere. Okay, yeah, so see, I shouldn't have kept doing the painting after I finished the video. So anyway, Boundless Eyes. Very nice. Yeah, you should make more videos, though. You shouldn't feel so self-conscious. I'm sure there's very many people like myself who do find you interesting, even if you don't have what you think is something important to say. You say things in a way that is always, not always, I mean that's silly, I won't sit there and blow smoke for, you know, that's just bullshit. Oh, yeah, you're always just right, yeah. No. But you often say things in ways that provoke thought and add meaning and substance to conversations, and you should not feel inhibited by, projections of the mind. It's a dangerous thing. Mind is a terrible thing to waste, but it's It's also a terrible pain in the ass if you listen to it too much. Sometimes the mind is full of shit, and you can't pay too much attention to what it's doing because it's trying in a way to defeat you. And you have to just recognize that, not take it too seriously. But I mean, these are easy things to say, you know. So it's really easy for me, who has decided not to worry too much about failure in terms of talking. You know, if I blow it, I blow it. Who cares? I mean, I'm not going to worry about it because I can fix it the next day. I can do better another time. And like I said, I think you do have something to say. I don't think you're as vacant as you're pretending to be. It's just that part of you is tired, and you don't want the frustration of the fact that too many people react too simplistically, and you have to deal with the misinterpretations because people don't take enough time to really listen to what somebody's saying. And maybe that's just it. But I mean, you really, I guess there's a point where you just have to say, you know, this is what I am going to care about and this is what I'm not going to care about. And the opinions of, you know, assholes, and even if you put me in that category, it's I know I have been in that category in your opinion, so it's quite okay, and I feel almost privileged to have the opportunity. And if an asshole telling you that you're worth it is something valuable or useful, then allow this asshole to say it's something you really should do, because you're good at it. You're good at talking. You're good at making things relevant and interesting. And it's something this asshole thinks you should do. It has value to me. Maybe that's enough. Maybe I should just say that, right? That should be enough, right? Because if we're not going to be objectified, and if you're not going to minimize my meaning, and say I'm not the human race, therefore I don't count. I'm not the common this, or I'm not the common that. I mean, if you're going to give more respect to simplistic, common social notions, the status quo. You're going to give the status quo more meaning than me, and then tell me that you're, worried about objectification when you've just objectified me into meaninglessness because I'm not the status quo. I'm not a representative of the normal society. Fuck him. So anyway, if he just did it for me, I would appreciate it, certainly. I mean, that would be quite good for my ego. If somebody made videos just because Gary wants them to, Gary would be grateful. Yeah, is that good enough? Gary would be grateful. There. So, I'd just like you to do it because you want to do it. So that's important. So I want you to feel. I mean, do it when I guess I'm not trying to control. I'm just saying your input, I think, is certainly up to the necessary standards. And even if you're not perfect, you're going to be a lot better than most. Yeah, and that should be good enough. Don't let your perfectionism break your ability to function. And that's sort of like the beauty thing, right? Don't let us strive for perfection make you. It's like don't make. It's that whole perfect, good or better, best argument. Like don't let your hope for the best destroy your appreciation of the good. Something like that, right? Don't let your short-sightedness. Don't be lost in the forest of perfection. Enjoy the trees of good enough. Yeah, something like that. So anyway, it's all